Diving in deep to the world of crypto. You're listening to Vorpin AI.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This week, we're looking at the world of crypto.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically, we found this really interesting market summary.
Okay.
It highlights some of the biggest movers and shakers over the past week.
Interesting.
Some of the names you might recognize are Filecoin, Theta Network, Uniswap,
Okay.
Cardano, and even Aptos.
Right.
So if you're looking for like a quick pulse check on what's happening in crypto, you've come to the right place.
Sounds good.
So where do we even begin with all this? Bitcoin took a bit of a tumble this week.
Yeah, it did. And, when Bitcoin sneezes, the rest of the market tends to catch a cold.
Oh, it's a good one.
So some cryptos are weathering the storm better than others.
Right. Let's start with Filecoin, FIL.
Sure.
It seems like it's been hit pretty hard.
Yeah, it's been on a bit of a downward slide.
We're talking like bearish momentum, tumbling prices.
Right.
What's going on?
So one of the things that traders look at are these things called moving averages. Essentially, it's like a trend line that smooths out the price fluctuations over a certain time period. So you'll hear things like the 20-day moving average or the 50-day moving average.
Got it.
When a price drops below these averages, it can be a sign that things are headed south.
A warning sign.
Exactly. And unfortunately for Filecoin, it's dropped below both the 20-day and the 50-day moving average.
And it's now trading below 5.09.
Right, which is a key support level.
What does all that actually mean for someone who's not like super deep into like charts and technical analysis?
Sure, so think of a support level like a floor.
Okay.
If the price falls below that floor,
It could keep falling.
exactly, it might signal that there's not enough demand to hold it up at that level.
So should Filecoin holders be worried? What's your take?
It's not necessarily time to panic, but it's definitely something to keep an eye on.
Okay.
If it can rally and climb back above those moving averages, it could be a sign that the bulls are back in control.
Right.
But if it continues to slide, it could be a bumpy ride.
Okay, so we'll keep an eye on Filecoin. Now let's move on to Theta Network, or Theta.
Okay.
This one seems to be telling a slightly different story.
It does. It's actually had a pretty decent week with a gain of 4.4%.
Wow, that's not bad at all.
No, not bad at all. And what's really interesting is that it's approaching this key resistance level at $2.25.
Okay, resistance level.
Think of it like a ceiling.
Okay.
Once the price breaks through that ceiling, it could signal a strong upward movement.
So are we seeing a Theta rally in the making?
It's definitely possible. A breakout above $2.25 could trigger a wave of buying
Oh, wow.
and push the price significantly higher.
Okay.
But we've also seen cases where the price gets close to this resistance level, but fails to break through, leading to a bit of a pullback.
Right, yeah, of course. So maybe some cautious optimism for Theta.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Okay. Now on to Uniswap, or UNI, and this one's getting really interesting.
Oh, how so?
Well, the summary we saw mentions increased whale activity, but also decreased exchange inflows.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Can you break down what those terms mean?
Sure. So when we talk about whale activity,
Yeah.
we're talking about large transactions by individuals or institutions that hold a significant chunk of a particular cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Think of them as the big fish in the crypto sea.
Got it.
Increased whale activity can sometimes be a bullish signal.
Okay.
It suggests that these big players are confident in the coin.
Right.
Now, exchange inflows refer to the amount of cryptocurrency being deposited into exchanges.
Wow.
A decrease in exchange inflows could mean that fewer people are looking to sell their holdings,
Interesting.
which, again, could be a positive sign.
So what's the takeaway here for Uniswap?
It's a bit of a mixed bag.
Yeah, it sounds like there are some like conflicting signals.
Right, but there's another piece to this puzzle that we need to consider.
Oh. What's that?
Unichain.
Unichain.
Yeah, it's Uniswap's new Layer 2 solution.
Good.
It's expected to launch in early 2025,
Okay.
and it's being touted as a potential game changer.
In what way?
Well, imagine a world where transactions are lightning fast and incredibly secure.
Sign me up.
That's essentially what Unichain is aiming for. It boasts things like 250 millisecond block times, decentralized validation.
Wow.
So we're talking super fast transaction speeds
Right.
and enhanced security.
That makes sense. So what else is special about Unichain?
Well, they're introducing these things called Flashblocks, which further speed up transactions, and permissionless fault proofs, which help to ensure network integrity.
Wow.
So they're really focusing on making it super efficient and reliable.
It sounds pretty impressive, I have to say. So do we expect to see Uniswap's price skyrocket once Unichain launches?
Well, it's definitely a possibility. All these advancements, they're attracting a lot of attention.
Oh, yeah.
Especially from institutional investors who are starting to see the potential of DeFi.
The DeFi.
Decentralized finance.
All right.
It's basically a way to recreate traditional financial products, but without the need for intermediaries like banks. Unichain could really be a catalyst for more institutional adoption in the DeFi space.
And that could drive up the price of UNI.
Exactly.
Okay, so definitely something to watch.
Absolutely.
And let's talk about Cardano, or ADA.
All right.
Unlike Filecoin, Cardano seems to be doing pretty well.
It is, yeah. It's recovering quite nicely from that recent dip.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's headed back towards that $1 mark.
Nice.
Right.
What's driving this positive momentum?
Well, Cardano has always been a favorite among, well, a certain segment of the crypto community.
Right.
It's known for its focus on sustainability, scalability, and a commitment to innovation.
Can you break those down a bit? What do those things actually mean?
Sure. So unlike Bitcoin, which uses a proof-of-work consensus mechanism that requires a ton of energy,
Right.
Cardano uses a proof-of-stake system, which is much more environmentally friendly.
Gotcha.
Also, Cardano's designed to be highly scalable, meaning it can handle a lot of transactions without slowing down.
Right. That's always a good thing.
And then there's the focus on innovation.
Like what?
Well, they're constantly working on new technologies and updates. One of the big things on the horizon is the Hydra Layer 2 scaling solution.
Hydra. Sounds pretty intense.
It is. It's basically a way to make the network even more efficient. And it's going to open up a whole bunch of new possibilities for Cardano.
Wow. So a lot to be excited about in the Cardano world.
Yeah, I think they're definitely one to watch.
All right. Sadly, it seems like not every crypto is having such a good time.
Yeah, that's the nature of the market, right?
Aptos, APT, it's been having a rough week.
Yeah, it's taken a pretty big hit, down about 35%.
Oh, wow. 35%?
Yep. There's a lot of bearish sentiment around Aptos right now.
Meaning?
Basically, more people are selling than buying. The key level to watch here is the $9 support level.
Okay.
If Aptos drops below that, we could see further declines.
Yikes.
But if it can manage to rally and break above the $10 resistance level, that could signal a change in sentiment.
So it's like a make or break situation for Aptos.
Pretty much.
Before we wrap up, I want to circle back to Uniswap and Unichain for a sec.
Sure.
I mean, this launch feels like it could be a turning point, not just for Uniswap, but for the entire DeFi landscape.
You know, I think you're right.
Really?
Yeah, this focus on speed, security, and efficiency, it's setting a new bar for DeFi platforms. And the fact that we're seeing so much interest from institutional investors, that tells you something.
It does.
I think we're just scratching the surface of what's possible with DeFi. And Unichain could be a major catalyst for its growth.
All right. So as we wrap up this deep dive into the world of crypto, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from all of this?
You know, I think the biggest takeaway is that the crypto market, it's incredibly dynamic.
It is.
It's full of opportunities, but it's also full of risks.
Right.
Staying informed about market trends, technical indicators, and especially these emerging technologies like Unichain, it's key.
Yeah, so do your research. Keep learning. Awesome. Well, thanks for taking us on this wild crypto ride.
My pleasure.
And to all our listeners out there, we'll catch you next week for another deep dive.